As always, you can use my code IRestoreStuff and get 10% off any of the Essential Stencil product, stencils, brushes, you name it, your transfer, rub-on things, and so on. So I just had some great news for you that the Primitive bundle has been restocked. So if you missed out on that, or if you know someone who missed out, please let them know. Grab my code, grab the link that's right there in the description of the live, and you'll see the bundle there. We're going to be doing a couple of projects today. Let me just let you know about the Primitive bundle. If you're new to Essential Stencils or you haven't seen it yet, it's these cute, there's a whole bundle. So I'm going to show you what is in it. 3 little houses in this set. So we've got that one, and they all are all available as single stencils as well. So we've got, I'll show you how to do one of these today, the background of the house and then the windows and the roof. That's just one of the things in the set. Then we've got the gorgeous willows. Now these sold out really quickly, so if you didn't have those, grab those. Thank you so much for sprinkling, those of you who are hitting that share button, sharing it out to Facebook land. Love you guys. Thank you so much for that. So the willow tree, these are all so cute for Primitive art, and you can just make it so easily. We've got some stars and hearts all in different sizes, so you can use those individually for all sorts of different things. We'll try and use some of that today. The cute little black crows, 3 different types there. You can use them all at once or one at a time or in all of your artwork. And then on the back, we also have, oops, it's stuck inside thing, but there's a smaller version of the crows also. So it's a bonus smaller version. Same with the Primitive sheep. We've got a bonus version of the smaller version in that. So this is all in the Primitive set. And of course, the ever popular 20 words, Primitive words. So there's all kinds of words in here, and we'll have a look at those in a minute. So all sorts of things like, and big, small words and big sayings as well. So we've got love grows best in little houses, for example. Home is where the heart is. Simply blessed, and old time gatherings. Grateful hearts gather here. So many fun sayings. And then there's smaller words like faith, hope, family, all of that kind of thing. So Bobby, this has got to be your favourite set. I think I love this so much too. So if you were one of the ones who missed out last time, don't miss out this time. And I will get started on this, and we'll chat more as we paint and stencil. So I've got a plain board here. It's one of those wooden canvases. I love working with these because you can work on the inside and create this like a dark frame, or you can just use the outside. I think I'm going to use the outside today only because I didn't want to fiddle with, on my live, trying to put the stencils inside the frame. And then I've got this board that I've just painted over, and I don't know, you can probably just slightly see that I had something else on underneath that, so I don't know if you can see that there. But I think it was bunny crossings or something from an Easter sign that didn't sell in my shop, so I thought I'll just paint over that and paint something primitive and fun. So I've used Fusion Mineral Paint's Transition, and it's a type of paint that is used from all their recycled pigments, and they put it all into this one paint. It's sort of like an off-white colour, but it's half the price of a regular paint. And so what you're doing is you're saving when you're going, so this was painted black with the white bunny crossings, and so I wanted to paint it a neutral colour. So to do that transition, it's just a nice way of covering with a cheaper paint, sort of like an undercoat, I suppose, and then going over the top with your nice, good quality paints. So it's all the same good quality paint. In fact, if you like that grey colour, you've got yourself some cheap paint. So the transition is a really good one to use for that. That's its purpose. Excuse me. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Bobby. Annetta's here. Donna. Wonderful. I'm going to stain this right now in probably, I'm going to use a few of Fusion's Alchemy colours today. And this is their colour Clay. So this is a chalk paint type paint. And It's a lot of fun to use. So what I'm going to do is, like I do with my others, I've got a damp cloth here. You can mix it if you want to make a stain out of paint. I'm not going to just paint it on. To create a stain, you can use a damp cloth and then just wipe it on your board along the wood grain. And so that's what I'm going to do today. Or you could mix it with about 1 part paint to 9 parts or 10 parts water. Mix that up and create a stain wash and just brush it on and let it soak into the timber. So I've just got a bit of paint on my cloth there. And this is a little bit thicker than the Fusion mineral paint. So the main difference between a chalk paint and a mineral paint is that chalk paint is quite chalky, as the name suggests. And so it does have quite a chalky feel to it. You can see that it's starting to run out as the further I get down the board. So I can either wipe back more excess up here and bring it down, or just dip my brush in, my cloth in again. But if you were painting, say, a whole piece of furniture, I definitely recommend just mixing it in, mixing it with water to create a stain wash. So that's all we're doing, creating a stain. Look at the sides, and then that'll dry nicely for a cute background for primitive houses that we might be using this for in just a little while. So we just wipe that on, and it does go a long way. This middle section looking a little bit lighter, but as you can see, you can just wipe that back. And just pushing it in harder as it starts to run out on your cloth. There we go, and you've got a beautifully stained board there. So that's Fusion's Alchemy range of paint, and that is the colour clay. So it does look quite like clay, and I just love that tone of the wood. So we could dry that off, but I'll just let it dry aside for a minute. Hello everybody, thanks so much for joining. So let's have a look at our other board that I've kind of covered over with the transition white transition paint, so that we can create something fun. Now I looked up primitive art, and I wanted to use some of those colours for my board here. So I think that some of these, like the rusty colours, I'll show you the one that I was looking for. I don't know if you can, looking at there's just this artwork here. I just love the colours in that. And I love the way that they've sort of blended a bit of the rust and then going into yellow and a bit of green for grass. I don't know, I thought it'd be a cute background for this primitive painting. So I'm going to sort of look at that. And Cheryl, you use the paint as a stain as well. Yes, great idea. So many different uses for it. Okay, so I'm going to I'm not an artist, so I know that some of our other ambassadors are truly really great artists and can draw and all sorts of things, but I don't have that skill. But I thought that I could try and do some blending. I've got a blending brush here that we can probably use. So thinking of this rusty colour sort of here, then a bit of yellowish going up like a sky, and then some grass down the bottom. I like this rosemary colour for grass. I think they'll go well. There's also this thyme, but I feel like rosemary's a little bit more grass-like. So let's have a look and see what we can do with these. Like I said, the chalk paint is a little bit thicker than the mineral paint if you're used to using that, which is also great for stenciling because it's thicker on your brush. Okay, didn't bring a lot of brushes out here. I'm just going to use this round one. It's a Klingon Round 12. You can use the Stalmeister has some really good round brushes, and they're available at the Fusion website. If you wanted to go there, you could use my same code, I Restore Stuff. I do have a link in the description of the live, so you can check that out. And let's have a look at this rosemary colour. It has great coverage. I love it. Dries really quickly, as does the mineral paint. But I was saying before, the difference between a chalk paint and the mineral paint is that the chalk paint is more porous And so you do usually need a sealer. It's quite chalky finish. And when you seal it, it sort of really brings out the true colours, deepens the colour. Okay, so we may have to have a second coat on here. We'll have a look at that. And we're going to try some blending. Now what I should have brought out, which I'll just go and grab that really quickly in a minute, is my misting bottle. Does anyone have a misting bottle that you like to use for your paint work, or for using, does anyone use chalk paints and use a misting bottle? It just kind of helps in the blending process, I feel. And also with the chalk paint, because it's thicker, it can lend to, if you wanted to create texture with your brush, you can, you know, add a little bit of texture like so, and it'll kind of look like a little bit of texture on the board. So we could do a little bit of that. Maybe go up a little bit like this, a little bit like grass maybe, but a little bit of fun. Just thought I'd show a bit of that. But as we blend with the other colours, we'll see what fun we can have with it. Yes, Donna, you use misting when you're blending? Great idea. Now, I've got some plastic here that I'm just going to use to wrap my brush in case we want to do a second coat. I'm just going to quickly grab that misting bottle. I do have to do up the sides of this as well. I keep forgetting that sometimes, just to kind of give it a bit more continuity around the sides and edges of your piece. Okay, so close to the horizon is what, yeah, these are sort of acrylic, lime and chalk. That's why they call it alchemy, A-L-C, alchemy. It's acrylic, lime and limestone and chalk. So it's kind of a blend of the greatness of the sort of milk paint powders and then the mineral paint all together in there. So now looking at the horizon of this piece, I want to see some rust coming in there, but at the top I want to sort of do some kind of sunsetty yellow. I think that looks fun. And then maybe we'll bring in some lighter yellow in the middle. Having a bit of fun with blending before we get on to our main other thing. Now what will I use for this one? This is a bright orange. I'm not sure that it's quite primitive, but anyway, we'll just go with it. Oh, it almost looks like sunset, doesn't it? This is the colour Marigold. And I guess it does look like marigolds. This one might need a couple of coats. There are some of the colours that are really highly pigmented that you tend to need a few more coats with, or a couple. But if I just lay it on a little thicker, we could be okay. Now in this middle section, I was going to use my blending brush, but I'm not sure how that's going to work in there. We'll see how we get to blend this in a second. As always, I'm winging it as we go. And then maybe we'll finish it off. Oh, we've got to have this rusty colour in the middle. That'll look great. Oops. A bit of dried paint on the side. Now this is the colour Sienna. Look, I feel like I haven't got you down close enough, so let's see how that looks. Making sure we can see there. Creating a background for our fun piece here. I'm just using an artist brush. And I'm not getting right up against the green yet because I want to get my solid colour in. What's this? Sienna. Beautiful rust colour. They are great fall colours, Donna. I agree. Getting really close to that edge now, just to make sure that we're all going to get in there. Right in close to the green, right in close to the yellow, and then we'll start to blend. Okay. Now, one of these brushes, this brush I think I'll use with the green, and just do a little bit of blending there. So I'll just get my misting bottle and I'm going to spray that across, and I'll make sure I keep that same half of the brush up in the green there and try and blend these together. Not doing too badly. Now, grabbing a little bit more rust to fill out our rusty piece here. I'm hoping to put some sheep and crows on this one. Now we're going into blending that marigold. Oh, I'm probably making a little bit of a mess here. But it's a little bit artistic, don't you think? I'll have to fix up my sides later on. All right, so we've sort of blended a little bit there. Where's my yellow gold? And then just bringing that back in. Mixing the two a bit. Bringing this one back in, and I might have to offload a little bit of the colour because they're starting to blend in the piece there. Oh, so just a little bit, bringing it back down into here. If I need some more misting, I can do that there. But now we're starting to blend it a little bit more into the yellow. See that? Our green isn't blending so much at the moment, and I might grab my green brush, which still has some paint on it. Now this is going to be blended together too, so we don't want to put them back in the pots that I've been using, so I do still have a little bit of green on there. Maybe I could grab a bit more, just a touch. Is this helpful? How to do backgrounds for your pieces? And again, this is feeling a little tacky. When you start to feel it a little sticky, just grab your misting bottle and mist away. Now that's starting to blend a bit better. And we do still have that. I've added a little bit of touch of red in there, but that's okay. The green's showing through. Just have to get a little bit more green, making sure we don't have too much of the red on there. Probably not a great idea to do that, but we'll add a bit down the bottom where it was coming off. Took away my texture. We can add that back in. There we go. Oh, thank you, Angie. Having a go. Okay, this colour was rosemary, and we've used the beautiful marigold. This is in Fusion's Alchemy range. And so there's our beautiful blending. So that's going to be our background. Whoops. Oh. Okay, got to fix that. Oh dear. We've made a little mistake here. No such thing as mistakes, doesn't Bob Ross say? Happy little accidents. There's my rusty colour gone. Now I feel like I need to add a touch more of the rust on this area. Lovely. Looking great. Pop those aside in the water. And I'll hit that with a hairdryer before adding it over here. So those are all in the Alchemy range of Fusion. I do have the link for Fusion, and you can use my code I Restore Stuff and save 10% there. And when it dries, you'll see that it does dry a little bit more chalky than your mineral paint. But because it's thick, it is great for stenciling and blending and texture and all that kind of fun stuff. Yes, we're doing the primitive stencils today because they've just restocked them. If you've just joined me, that is the news, that they have restocked, Essential Stencils restocked the primitive collection. And so you can get it as a bundle or you can get them as individual bits. Let me just see, I'm just making sure we are on my side here that I've got in the shot. See, I don't see what's happening on the front, so I don't know which way I have to go this way more. No, this way more. Making sure I've got you there. Okay. Let's go back to our board here, and we're going to be doing Primitive House. So we've just stained that. If you missed the beginning of the live, you can catch the replay where I've stained the board, and I'm going to be using the little houses. I believe I used this one last time I did a house, a primitive house, so I want to use one of these cute little guys. Maybe I'll use this tall, skinny one. And this is what all three might look like. There's an example in the images. In fact, if you go to the primitive bundle link that I've got listed right there in the top of the chat, pinned there, and it's also in the description of the live. Excuse me. You'll see that, or we have some examples there of community projects that have been done using this one. Okay, so our house, we're going to make it, I feel like I want to make it blue. And I like this colour, Storm. So this is going to be the main part of the house. And I want to make sure I've got actually room down the bottom for one of the signs using the word stencils that we've got. Also want to make sure it's going to not go over the edge. Our chimney will go up to about here. And let's just add a bit of painter's tape. Oh, here's two little bits of tape right here. Keep that so it's not going to go anywhere. And we're going to use this colour Storm, which is from the Alchemy Fusion range. These pots are perfect for stencil brushes too. They're right, just a perfect size to fit that in there. Oh, I think I'll just get rid of this little protective thing. And grab a stencil brush. Now, I could use a little bit of a larger one this time. Let's see, the 7/8 inch brush, because we've got this huge area to fill. We will get right in there. Actually, I'll just let it come to the edge. A bunch of chalk paint on the brush, and then offloading that onto... Actually, we don't need to offload a lot because we could offload a whole bunch right here in the centre of our board. So what we do when we've got a large space, large area like this, we come in from the edges. So as you can see, that's soaking right into the timber. I can afford to use a lot more paint. But we don't want too much that it's all going to splash everywhere, spill everywhere. So being careful with that, we don't want to go near the edges with too much paint on our brush, and we come in from the edge like this, so that, see how I'm sort of coming in at an angle? We don't want to get the bleeding under the edge of the house. We want nice straight edges, and so come in from the sides and then fill in all the rest. It's a nice colour blue. That's called Storm. All right, there's our blue, easy. I should wipe the edge of my pot because that is how your lids stick together. We don't want that happening. Okay, I'll leave that blue over here in case I need that again. Pop it in a bit of plastic. Now we can just hit that with a hairdryer, make sure it's dry. And then for we can do our roof a different colour than our windows, or we could do them all the same colour. Okay, so we're lining up the door with the bottom of the windows, and we're lining up this roof line right here. Now, the colour I thought that I would use is this rusty sienna colour, which I used before. I like that, and I thought I'd use that for the roof, but we could probably use it for the darker on the inside. Let's see. I just like the thought. It kind of looks like you know those red terracotta roofs? I feel like it looks a bit like that. So I'm going to use this brush right here. Got a bit in the lid. So making sure it's not too much on the brush, and we're coming in from the edges again. Get that chimney. There we go. Now let's see what it might look like if I do the windows with this colour. It's just sort of darkening that area. We could always go over it with black if this kind of doesn't look right or it doesn't work out. I've got a little bit left on the brush. And maybe it won't stand out as much because it's a similar tone colour, similar shade, as in the darkness, lightness. It's a mid-tone, sort of like the blue. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. Oh, I really can't see those windows very well. So I like the roof. I think we'll go over those windows with the black. But first, I will dry it, because if we go over that with black, it might sort of blend in with that colour. So I don't mind the roof. I like that rusty colour roof. I think it looks cute. Then we'll just lay that back down over here. And I might even, so the black in the Alchemy range is called Onyx. Cassie, you love the Alchemy paint? Yeah, it's so fun to work with. I'm not sure in what order I'm seeing our comments, so maybe I am commenting on comments that are late, that are earlier, like way earlier. Sorry, guys. My video on the Facebook page beside me on my laptop is kind of not showing the things in the right order. Okay, I am going to use the same brush and just add black onto it from the lid. And I don't know, can we see that here? Even if it does sort of blend that rust colour in, I don't mind. It's just making the windows look darker. I did want to try the idea of creating some light in the windows. So now we've got some dark windows. It's like the lights aren't on at home. You could even do your door a different colour. You could add so many different little fun things on here. Okay. Just lift that up. See how we can see that a little bit better? I can actually see a little bit of the rust behind. It sort of made a little shadow on there. I'd love to see some light in some of these corners. So I was going to try a fun idea using a bit of yellow. See if we can just make a tiny little patch of light, like if there's a light on in the bedroom. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But let's experiment with it. We'll use this colour Harvest, this little bit of yellow here, and we'll try and add a bit of light. So, putting my black aside. I have opened these, and I usually keep these in there, but sometimes they're just a little bit annoying because they make a bit of a mess when I'm trying to take them all off. So we'll just leave that out, but I will shake up my yellow, make sure it's all mixed in there. Cheryl was asking, do I use it as a stain as well? Yes, I do. Okay, just trying to get to the end of my comments so I can see the latest ones. Now, the brush that I'm going to use, let's see, maybe I could use one of these little, what do we call these ones? Soft bristle, they're not detail brushes. They're a little bit different than the detail brushes, but I just want to add a touch of light. So I'm going to bring my yellow. See if I can just use that. This is the soft domed bristle brushes. They come in a set of four different sizes. That's a few of them. The other one's here somewhere. I don't know, let's see. Let's see if I can make it look a little bit light. Maybe I need less on my brush because I wanted just a touch. I don't know if that's doing what I want it to do. Oh, maybe. It kind of looks like curtains to me instead of a light, but anyway. Maybe an artist could tell me how we're supposed to do this. Do you get what I'm trying to do? Do you understand the idea that I'm trying to create? Just want a little bit of light coming in in the windows. Just a smidgen of lightness. Maybe. Oh, I see. It kind of does. It kind of looks like it. What do you think, everybody? Let me know. Oh, gosh, hang on. Whoop. Yeah, these are the Essential Stencil dome brushes, Angie was saying. Mini essential brushes, something like that. Okay, let's go along and do another, like we'll do this top window up here. Just doing the outer edges. Concentrating. Can't you tell? I don't talk as much when I'm just really concentrating on what I'm doing. Has anyone else ever tried putting light in their windows of their little primitive houses? I like the idea. Maybe it's going to be dark in some rooms, light in others. Maybe I should just do the top 3. What do you think? Should I just do the top 3 rooms as if people are upstairs but not downstairs? I feel like I need a little bit more light in here. Just coming in from the edges. White or cream for the windows, Ginger suggests. Great idea. All right, I think I might just do those top windows, make it look like someone's home up there. You could do a different colour for the door. But moving right along, let's go on with another primitive, fun stencil to use. And we're going to use our willow tree to put off to the side here. And this one was really popular, so if you didn't get a hold of the willow tree, they are restocked, all of the primitive set, so you can buy it as a bundle. They would have a certain amount of bundles left, and then you can buy them individually as well. So if you missed out on this one, use my code, I restore stuff, get you 10% off. That even includes 10% off the bundle, so you can do that as well. I'm going to use this willow tree. Now, Alchemy by Fusion does have a colour called Willow. Look at this. I thought that's, really a willow tree, but there are some willow trees that are more green, like probably not that bright green, but more of the green colour. And then there are other willow trees that are this bright yellowy colour. So that's interesting. Let's see if we could maybe I can use the clay for the trunk of the tree, and then I'm going to, probably will fit the willow tree beside it. Look at that. Now, let's see what words I was going to use, because I want to make sure those fit down there too. Home is where the heart is. So that one would fit. If I shifted the willow tree up a bit, I guess we could do that. And put home is where the heart is down underneath there. That's cute. So, using my tape it down. Okay, so I'm not seeing comments properly, sorry. I'm seeing them all out of order. Facebook just does some weird things. Okay, now I think I might be seeing them. Kimberly, you said you missed out on the willow one. Well, now it's available, so lucky you. You can go and get this one. So this is the colour Clay, which I did use for the background here, so I'm not sure if it's going to blend in a bit more. Maybe I could add a touch of black and create sort of a bit of a colour for that. So let's use maybe this. We might want to use one that's a bit smaller, only because we want to try and get some of the branches, although I think I'll just leave the tree part all green. So we'll grab a bit of this clay colour. Probably do not need that much. And then I'll put a touch of black just on the tips of my brushes and see if we could blend that in a little bit, just to make it a bit darker for the base of our tree. Probably could have made it a little bit more chocolate colour. I really don't know the colour of willow trees, but trying to offload as much as I can from my brush because I don't want too much on the brush. Whoops, it might be blending in a bit too much to the background. We'll see. Maybe need a touch more black on that. Does anyone else like blending their colours? It can be fun. It's a little bit darker. Just a touch. It's a little bit too grey, but anyway, you get the idea. we're getting our branches in there. Maybe we'll try and get our branch in this way. It might get covered up by the leaves, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, Diana found an old medicine cabinet mirror today while cleaning the garage. Don't you love those fun finds? Hoping to do some stenciling on it. That sounds great. Great idea. Look, I'm getting this all over the leaves, but we're going to go over the leaves with that willow colour. We'll see how that turns out. Okay. It's such a bright colour. Add that to my wet cloth over there. Now, let's see what happens with this willow colour. I literally looked up willow tree and found all the images, Google images on Google, and there were several trees in this colour. I'm like, oh, it is actually a colour of a tree. It's very bright. Pretty. And if we don't like it, what can we do? Let's say it all together. Paint over it. Stencil over it. Use a different colour on top. It doesn't matter. It's easier to do sort of a darker colour over a lighter colour, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. We could even use this little spongy one would be great for because I find these soft dome brushes, now I think these are the only brushes available at the moment, but if we do have, let's see if that looks dark enough, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, if you do have these, just use a little bit on your brush, and in the same way, I'm running out of room on my thing here. It's a very translucent one, this one. The pigment's kind of quite high in it. So in the same way, but we're just going to dab instead of doing circle motions in this one. So let's see how this turns out. It might need a bit of background in it, or we could just add some more green on top. Looks like we are going to need a bit more paint than that. It's quite yellow. Well, it is on the stencil. I think it might need a bit more green. And of course I've got some of the brown from the branches. Maybe I'll just do a little bit down here and see what it looks like. Has anyone else seen willow trees this colour? That bright green colour? Greeny yellow leaves. Maybe it's a certain time in the season where they all start to turn. I don't know. Like it needs something underneath it just for that highly pigmented colour, but some of them I've got the brown underneath it from the branch of the tree. Let me have a peek. It's turning out kind of interesting. I think I feel like we need some brighter green in there, so this could be a willow tree that has a few colours going on with it. We'll see. I think I'll continue with this and we'll see how it all turns out. That's how I know where I'm up to. I'll just follow down the tree branch. It's almost like a little bit of a fluorescent yellow colour. But I do love seeing this colour in nature. It feels really soft. Needs a couple of coats, I think, to get that brightness going. Sweet. And we're doing the primitive collection today if you've just joined us, and using the willow tree to create this fun look. Oh, Andrea says it goes yellow before it drops its leaves. That makes sense. So it's great fall colours, and I think it works with the primitive colours too, you know. It's got those primitive tones. Even though it looks bright out there, but when you look at it on the board itself, it's not as bright. I really like these brushes for these little areas where it's tricky to get into. And then just go over that a second time, dabbing. Getting a little bit more brightness, and I think the more coats you do on this, the brighter it'll get. And we'll have a peek at that. I can always go over it a little bit after we finish the live too, if I think we need to add some more touches to it. Let's have a look. Oh, yep, it does sort of need something else, doesn't it? It needs a little bit more to stand out. So maybe if I went behind it with a bit of white, you could see it better. But it's got some various tones in it, which is kind of fun, looking fun. So we might come back to that. Stay tuned, we'll let it dry, and we'll get on with our words down the base here, and then we'll move on to our beautiful colourful board that we did earlier and add some sheep and primitive fun things there. So let's have a look. We don't have a brush with black on it. Oh yes, we do. I have a brush with black on it. We'll try that. Using colour Onyx. Make sure this is in the right place, and we've got gorgeous Home is Where the Heart Is. Now you could do this in white, or you could do it in black, or another dark colour that might suit your piece, or you could even use white as a shadow background and then make it really pop with the black. So we've done that before. Offloading my black as much as I can. Leah says to add a little yellow. That's a good idea. Might add a little yellow to add that. It'll brighten it up a bit, won't it? Okay, this lettering is close to the edges if you're using a large brush. So just be mindful of that. If you are close to the edges, grab a board and just make sure, you know, you're not going to hit the edges and accidentally go over onto your board. You don't want to have those lines around it. Offloading. Yeah, Cheryl, the trunk looks grey. I agree. It needs a bit more brown in it. I might have to go over a little bit with the Fusions chocolate, which I've got over the side here, so could fix that up with that. It kind of needs to be a bit darker, but in the right way. It needs to be a bit more chocolate brown. But you do have grey tree trunks too. I mean, our eucalypt gums. I don't know really what the colour of the willow tree trunk is, so we could get all exact about it. Main thing is it kind of stands out and looks fairly normal. There we go. Home is where the heart is. So I may fix that up later with some kind of yellow, or could bring some orange into it. Add a bit of this yellow maybe, because I think that yellow would really stand out on the tips of it. Even if it's just around sort of the edges, if you want to stay for that. I'll see if I've got time in a minute after we go on to our fun blending board that we did here. Blended board. I think it should be all dry now, but we've got sort of a sunset going. I was kind of looking at a primitive image earlier and thinking I'd love to get some of those tones in on this piece. So I feel like we've got a little bit of that going on. Maybe I could add a bit more yellow somewhere. But let's see, have a look for our little sheep. Done our houses. We've got the sheep, the crows, the stars and the hearts for some fun ideas. And remember, the sheep and the crows both have miniature versions on the back of them. So with these sheep, I think we could have some fun. Let's pop that in something wet. Thank you guys, you're all so encouraging, and my light in the windows didn't turn out too badly. Yep, this is the blending board, Janice, we are right back to it. So if you want to see how we blended this board together, you can go back and check out that. We've got a bit of texture happening down the bottom there. My sheep are stuck. So our sheep, and there is a miniature one on the back here, miniature version of the sheep. There are two sheep, so we're going to do both of them. I think they would look cute here. Now, another thing I did think of that you could use for this animal picture, actually let's put this one over here facing this one, and this one's going to face straight ahead. Let's see if we'll fit it here. One thing that you can use for the primitive set, if you got the Stencil of the Month Club set last month, I think it was, or this month, the bird one. It's got the little picket fence here, and that would look so cute, wouldn't it? With the sheep and the crows, I think it would look absolutely cute. So if you did get the bird Stencil of the Month last month, then that would be perfect. If you're back, you could watch the replay of this second part as well. When we're done, I usually join them together and add them onto my YouTube channel so you can see it sort of all at once. I'm not even sure where we got up to when it froze, so if you're jumping back on, let me know where it got up to when it froze. See if we can see you back on here. Let me know if you're coming back on, and we'll get stuck into this again because I'm not sure. Yes, thanks, Ronelle. I just went to the blended board and it froze. Oh my goodness, that's a long time ago. See, I really can't tell sometimes what is happening because Facebook's not let us do the flip thing. So I've done one sheep. And I probably said a lot of things. But anyway, we've got our two sheep bases down and I've put them aside there. And did I let you know, this is one of the thoughts that I had, if you're back with me, because it was so long since I realised that you were gone and not with me. Oh my goodness. I'm really getting annoyed with internet these days. I'm just going to dry this and I'll show you what I was talking about earlier because you may have missed it. Okay, so we've done our first part and it's a two-part layering stencil. But what I was going to say, and if you missed it earlier, that if you do have the Stencil of the Month Club set from this last month, from August, September. Oh, this is the next month's one, so don't miss it. So this is the next month's one, which I showed last week. So if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club, you'll get this one. And you can get this little picket fence, which is absolutely beautiful to use with your primitive set. So I may even just use that to finish this off. But let's keep going. And I'm going to use the black now, and we're going to find our edges of our sheep's face and its legs, where they go on the body. We'll use black, the onyx colour black, and I'll grab my cardstock. grab a bit of black, add it to the board. We offload as much as we can. Let me know if you're jumping back on. Let your friends know that we're back on. This is so annoying that this happens. I'm so sorry, everybody. Okay, there's a nice cute little sheep's face. There we go, there's that one, and then we move over here. Isn't that just adorable? And then this one, so this is the round sheep down here, and we've got his legs coming down the bottom. And the face. Offloading there. And we will... Have we got more people on? I'm not seeing very many comments. I'm just really worried that it's not working properly again. Black. It kind of looks grey now because I've blended that with the white. I probably should have dried that a little bit more. See if we can go. Oh, there we go. Kimberly says it seems to be happening to everyone's lives. I think that's happened to every live this week. Well, I know that it happened yesterday with Melissa, and it's really annoying. So I'm not sure what they're doing, but we're going to have to suss that out, see what's going on. Okay, there's our cute sheep. Is that not adorable or what? Is it adorable or what? Yeah, I think that's what I meant to say. Okay, now we've got our little black crow, and I wanted to put him on the back while we've got our black brush here. Probably not this one, but maybe sitting on the back of this one. I don't know. This one in flight looks really cute. I haven't seen that one. I've seen this little guy sitting on the back of a sheep, but maybe I'll put this one, and it looks like he's about to fly away. So adding that. And there we go. You could probably do a couple of coats if you can still see some of the colour through. But I do like a bit of a rustic look on these primitive pieces. So there we go, a little crow on his back. So that's the miniature crow on the back of the larger crow. So you could use those other crows for other things as well. So what I did want to do super quickly was grab this picket fence out of next month. So this is September's Stencil of the Month Club set. And just show you really quickly how cute that would look in the middle of our sheep. I just did this last minute earlier. Yeah, it does fit. So we can just put a little picket fence right here, a gate. You could even put it all the way across, put the sheep up higher, or you know, use it somehow for your farm thing. It looks like it's sitting in the middle of nowhere. I know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. I do have a bit of white still left on here, so we'll grab that. And oh, we're using the alchemy colours. So we will pick some winners in a minute, so don't... Oh, Laura, you said it happened to every live you watched yesterday. That is crazy, isn't it? It must be a Facebook thing. They're playing some cheeky game, I feel like. Now we could also use some words across the top of here. So if there's any of the primitive words that you think would be suitable for the top of this one, please let me know what you would put up here on this little thing. Something, we've got the words primitive, we've got family, we've got gather, we've got a couple of sayings in that primitive set. What have you used on your primitive sets, because I know it's been a favourite and it is back in stock, and that's why I'm live here with these today, to let you know that the primitive set is back in stock as a bundle and as individual stencil sets. Now this is from next month's Stencil of the Month Club set, but how cute is that going to look? And then if you wanted to go ahead and put, I don't know, some kind of little, what have we got? What colours have I got on my brushes? What colour is this? It's like a brown colour. Is that clay? The clay look. That'll be fine. It's just a tiny little bit of rustic look on the palings. So we just pop that over the top of here, adds a shadow to the base of the picket fence and adds colours to the paling. Just adding a touch of, I don't know what you would call it, worn look or weathered, kind of looks like weathered palings with this little colour on it. Rubbing that in there, just moving super fast so we can get our live finish before they jump us off again or something. Thank you so much for jumping back on, you guys. The sheep are so cute, I know. Oh, thank you so much. All right. Now lift that off, and you can see where it added the little bits of this to the picket fence. So worn, weathered look. I think that is adorable. So then we could add a cute little saying at the top, probably in white. So we've done this one so far. Let's see, what have we got? Faith, gather, kindred, peaceful and primitive. That's a little bit too squishy. Welcome. What about just a simple welcome sign? That looks cute. We've got hope, live simply. That would be cute as well. Family, thankful, believe, hearth, primitive, nest, country charm. Let's see if country charm might fit there. Any thoughts? And I'm not seeing comments again. Country charm, that fits perfectly right there. It's a little off the centre, but that's okay. Bless this nest, old time gatherings, simple blessings, a little bit too big, and yeah, the rest are sort of a little bit too big. So let's just pop country charm on there. We'll do it in that white colour, and I've got that on this brush, so I might as well just use this brush as well. And then we'll be finished. So look out for winner selections. Hopefully Essential Stencils back on our live, and we can pick some winners once I've finished my country charm here. So I've got the board just sitting here so I don't go over the edge with my big thick brush. If I was doing if I didn't have this brush with already white on it, I probably would have used a different brush. It's a little bit smaller, you know. I love the colours in the background though, sort of sunset looking farm day. And we've got that hopefully looking nice and crisp lines because we've got hardly anything on the brush. There we go. Country charm. Charming little sign. So let me just show you the two of those, and I'll grab our camera up a bit. And we'll see if we can find some winners on our live. So this is what we did earlier. Oop, what has gone on now? we go. And if you see some winners, let me know, because, okay, I am seeing comments now. We've got our Country Charm, very cute, and Home is Where the Heart Is. So that is from the Primitive bundle that is back in stock after being out of stock of a few of the actual designs. The Willow tree is back in stock, and the words, and so it's all back in there now, ready for you to order either as a bundle, or you can get them individually. The stencils are right there at the link that's on my on the description of the live here. Oh, actually on the first live you'll be able to see that. But use my code IRestoreStuff at the checkout at essentialstencil.com, and you'll be able to get 10% off even the bundle discounted price. So congrats to our winners, Anna, Elisa and Pamela. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. We will have to figure out what's going on with all these Facebook Lives freezing. But I've enjoyed doing that today. This has been one of my favorite sets. So thank you so much for watching. I'll jump up now and turn the camera off. But I will see you again next week for another fun DIY live. Bye.